What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life. Coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers just finished playing the Tennessee Titans in Week 7 of the 2020 NFL season, and this was the most heart-stopping, stressful game of the season in a season full of stressful games. This one should not have been all that close considering the first half, and boy, was it ever. Tennessee and Pittsburgh both came into this game at 5-0. We were supposed to play each other back, I think, in Week 3, but because of the Tennessee Titans spreading of COVID, we had to postpone that game and make an early bye week for both teams. So we're making up this game here in Week 7. So both teams came in at 5-0. This was far and away the Steelers' biggest test of the season so far. Tennessee is a pretty elite team. I would say Tennessee is in the top 4 in the AFC and probably top 7 or 8 teams in the entire NFL. They came in at 5-0. Defense has been playing solid. They've been getting after the quarterback. They've been covering pretty solid. Offensively, Tannehill's had a career resurgence in Tennessee. He's been throwing the ball like crazy, finding his tight ends, finding his fast receivers to make plays. Derrick Henry's been running guys over and getting all the short yardage stuff and just even breaking super long plays. Henry's one of the best in the league. So Tennessee came in at 5-0 and was being looked at as a super elite team. Pittsburgh, obviously, with the return of Ben Roethlisberger and the implementing of this new offense with the additions of McLeod on special teams and Chase Claypool at wide receiver, Pittsburgh has been on fire with that dominant defense from the drafts and trades of last season. So both teams coming in at 5-0, and this was a pretty heart-stopping game. Again, when I tell you the final score, it's going to seem super close, and it was, but the first half was anything but. Got to give credit on the offensive end to the combination of Matt Canada and Randy Fichtner. I've been very hard on Fichtner on this channel, and rightfully so, for some of the bad play calling options, but the implementing of this new offense has been very, very solid for Pittsburgh. It's helped us immensely. Big Ben is an aging quarterback. He's been around the league a long, long time, 15 plus years. His body's taken a lot of punishment. He's been beat up more than most quarterbacks in the NFL, and he's coming off a year-long injury. So to make up for that, Pittsburgh has run this offense where it's a lot of motion, a lot of receivers running across the formations, a lot of shotgun quick passes. They're spreading the ball around, and they're using very quick, short passes to let their playmakers break tackles and extend plays, and then setting up the long sideline bombs from Ben, preferably to Claypool or Washington, guys like that. But it's been a lot of the motion across the formation, setting up either handoffs to guys like Claypool coming across or to Connor in the run game, and then setting up those short passes in the pass game to all the different targets. They've been using Connor in the pass game, sometimes Jalen Samuels. They've been using Washington, Juju, Deontay Johnson when he's out there, Claypool, Ebron, McDonald, using the short passes, letting their guys make plays, holding the ball, extending for long drives, and setting up the sideline shots to Claypool or Washington. So it's the short passing game and the motion running game that has been helping this offense really thrive, and we saw a perfect example of that in the first half of this game. Pittsburgh came out on fire, held the ball on the first drive for 10-plus minutes, drove like an 18-play drive, got down there and scored a touchdown. Our first opening drive touchdown all of this season. We didn't even have any last season, so first opening drive touchdown of the last 2 years for the Steelers. Long drive, touchdown, and then Tennessee comes out and gets a quick 3 and out, and Pittsburgh holds the ball again for another long drive touchdown to come down again. So Pittsburgh jumps up 14-0 very, very quickly in a situation where Pittsburgh held the ball for almost 17 minutes to Tennessee's 1 minute. Pittsburgh had the ball for like 17 plus minutes, and Tennessee had the ball for 1 minute and 26 seconds, I think it was. So Pittsburgh had already had 12 first downs and 14 points in 16 minutes of clock control, and Tennessee hadn't even had a first down yet. That's how these long, short pass, clock-controlling drives were in the favor of Pittsburgh, keeping Derrick Henry off the field, letting the defense pin their ears back for a few plays, and allowing Pittsburgh to control the ball, control the clock, and keep Tennessee entirely off the field. Dominating first half for Pittsburgh. The one gaffe in the first half was they had Big Ben. Tennessee was going to punt the ball at the end of the first half. The punter dropped the ball and then picked it up and tried to throw for a fourth down conversion, didn't make it. So Pittsburgh got the ball back around the 35 or 40-yard line. Pittsburgh could have set up for a quick first down and gone for a field goal. Instead, Ben took a deep shot that wasn't there, which resulted in an interception. So that was some points off the board we could have taken a shot for there. weird decision to go for a deep ball that wasn't open to get picked off at the end of the half. But even still, to go up 24-7 at the end of the first half, Pittsburgh had all the momentum in the world. Pittsburgh was up 24-7 on a 5-0 team. This looked like it was going to be another blowout. This was the same score that Pittsburgh had against Cleveland last week, 24-7, and it was well on its way to being busted wide open. And then in the second half, a lot of things went wrong. Tennessee came out. Derrick Henry started to break us down a little bit. Derrick Henry is that bruising downhill running style where his legs get warmer as the game goes on, and the more carries he gets, the more physical he gets. So he started getting a lot more opportunities to run the ball and bruise on us. And then also the two playmakers on the outside, Corey Davis and especially A.J. Brown, opened up on us with some deep stuff. Corey Davis on the short sideline plays and A.J. Brown on the deeper stuff. For as good as the defense played, especially in the first half, Joe Hayden had a hard time watching A.J. Brown in this game. He was just playing off coverage too much, allowing some short, easy first downs, and then Brown got some more physical stuff as well. On the opening second half drive, it was one of the first two drives for Tennessee in the second half. I forget which one. Had a lot of technical difficulties today, all day long. We'll get into those in a second. But Tannehill throws a short pass across the middle to A.J. Brown. Vince Williams is too far in, going in for the blitz, not floated back enough, so Vince Williams misses the coverage on it, and then Brown takes it. Minkah Fitzpatrick comes in on a bad angle, does like a stutter step and gets a bad angle, and A.J. Brown goes right past, down the middle, streaks in for a 70-plus yard touchdown, and that opens up Tennessee's second half for some big offensive numbers. At this point, my CBS All Access feed froze on me. It would not go back to the game. It froze and it wouldn't restart. I pay for CBS All Access to watch these games, and the feed totally froze on me, so I had to go watch it online, which caused me to miss the second Tennessee touchdown drive, whichever one it was, to Corey Davis, the end zone play where it looked like Sutton was too far inside, and Corey Davis got a touchdown play. So my feed froze, and then in the fourth quarter, the cameras for the game had some technical difficulties. They went haywire, and the game had to go to commentary, go back to commercial, and go to studio for a while. So we missed part of Pittsburgh's drive in the fourth quarter. And then recording this video, my phone was on vibrate. I was getting texts, which caused my phone to fall off of my setup here and caused the video to shut down. So I had to reshoot the entire first half of this video. So technical difficulty on my feed, technical difficulty on the cameras, and technical difficulty in recording this video. It's been quite a day. But no difficulty in drama here. Tennessee came back and made it difficult on the Steelers. Again, a hard day for Hayden in coverage. Offensively, we kind of started to stall out. The short passing game was picked up by Tennessee. They did a much better job of getting pressure on Ben in the second half and did a good job of getting getting more guys in Ben's face, covering down the field. Their downfield coverage was really good in the second half. Chase and tackle on the short stuff and good coverage in the middle of the field on the longer stuff. Tennessee came marching back. So even though we had a 24-7 lead at the half, by the mid-fourth quarter, we had a 27-24 lead, meaning Tennessee got a 17-3 second half on us. Nice comeback by a resilient team. Again, the short passing game was shutting down. Big Ben made some bad decisions in the second half. He only had the one bad decision in the first half, which was throwing for the touchdown that got intercepted because it was a bad shot. In the second half, lots of bad decisions for Ben. Several batted balls on short plays. They got batted up in the air. Two got batted down at the line. One was a third down. And then two other batted balls got picked off. Ben was going for Juju Smith-Schuster twice on plays where the linebacker floated back and was in coverage and had his arms in his helmet in between Juju. And Ben tried to force it in twice where it got batted and picked off. Once he was going for a third down conversion where Juju was double covered by a cornerback and by the floating linebacker, and the linebacker had the arm and helmet in between, which got knocked up in the air and picked off. And then Ben tried to do it again in the fourth quarter. He was looking to, Pittsburgh had a 3-point lead. He was looking to force it into Juju again to make it a 10-point game and knock the game out of reach, basically. And the same thing happened where it got picked in the end zone, taking possible points, even a field goal, which could have made it a 6-point game and forced Tennessee to go get a touchdown. Took that off the board and gave Tennessee the chance to come down and tie the game at the end of the game. So bad decisions by Ben in the second half. Very good, flawless first half till the end of the first half, and then two bad forced picks He also made two weird plays in this game where at one point he was getting sacked for a short loss and went to pitch the ball backwards to Connor. Connor had to go back, catch the ball with one hand as he was falling down and hold the ball in, or it would have been a fumble, and Connor got a much bigger loss on the play because of that bad decision by Ben. So Ben trying to force the ball. He did make a weird offhanded, one-handed flick in the air that Ebron did catch later in the game, but Ben was doing a little too much reckless stuff here, forcing the ball and making some weird decisions. So in my opinion, Ben's worst game of the season. I've commended Ben for holding the ball and being smart with the ball, making fast decisions in this season so far. This game, first half, same thing. Second half, not so much. Here are the offensive numbers for the Steelers. Big Ben, 32 of 49. 49 passes for Big Ben. That's a lot of passes, although a lot of them were short. 32 of 49, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. James Conner, 20 carries for 82 yards, and Benny Snell with a rushing touchdown. Juju, 9 catches for 85 yards. Deontay Johnson, 9 catches for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Eric Ebron, 6 catches, 50 yards. So Pittsburgh did spread the ball out on offense. Again, I commend the effort, especially in the first half, of getting good motion. The Titans really keyed up on our boy Chase Claypool. Claypool obviously has had 5 touchdowns in the past 2 weeks. He's been a threat both in deep receiving plays and in the handoff, the end-around handoffs on the motion. So Tennessee keyed up on that. Claypool only had, I think, 1 catch for 2 yards in this game. Very, very small effort from him. Only about 2 or 3 targets for the whole game overall. Did not touch the ball much, was not targeted much. But Ben did the smart thing going to the other receivers. We see Juju with his best game of the year. He came out very strong, 9 catches for 85 yards. Love seeing Juju getting more targets, taking short plays, and especially in the fourth quarter, had 3 third down conversions, which was the biggest strength for the Steelers. Converting on third downs, it's been the Tennessee Titans' biggest weakness on defense, and Pittsburgh capitalized converting third downs big time in this game, especially in the first couple drives, and then also in the last drive as well. So Juju 9 for 85. Deontay Johnson, good to see him back out there. He was healthy for the first time, and he missed like the second half of the game 2 weeks ago, missed the entire game last week, was coming off 2 different fumbles in the first 2 games of the season, so I was getting on him for having a really bad season so far. Comes out, has a really nice game, 9 catches for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns, but did have some missed plays as well, and also got injured again at the end of this game, and he was out for the last drive for the offense. So I don't know what happened there. He was holding his hamstring when he went down after a nice third down conversion. So we don't know now if he's going to be out again going forward. So prayers to him. Hopefully he's healthy. He's had a rough one, man. Like I said, 2 fumbles early in the season, and then he's had injury problems ever since. He comes out and looks very good today and then gets hurt again. So we'll see what happens with Deontay. It's nice to have him out there because to have those 4 options at receiver, Washington didn't have any catches today, only 1 target. So he didn't do much today, but it's nice to have those 4 wide receivers out there healthy together. Deontay did drop 2 balls that he should have caught. They were a little high, but they were in both hands. They were catchable. They went off his hands, so sad to see that. So Deontay did not have the perfect game. He could have easily had another touchdown. There was a free play for Ben where Tennessee jumped off sides, and the ball was thrown to Deontay Johnson. It hit both of his hands, and he short-armed it. He alligator-armed it, so he could have pulled the ball in, but he didn't. So Johnson did have a few drops in this game. It wasn't perfect, but did have 2 nice touchdowns. Did have several third down conversions where he turned field, made a nice cut, took the ball and reversed field. So saw some nice things out of him, but didn't get a chance to see him finish the game. So that's sad. Ebron played well at tight end, 6 for 50. He was a big target today. They spread the ball out nicely on offense. But again, second half, it slowed down a lot. Connor slowed down. Ben was making bad decisions, and the short passing game wasn't working as much. So great first half, decent second half, but only 3 points to show for it in the second half. Defensively, no interceptions today. I think first game of the season with no picks. Only 2 sacks as well. We did get 2 sacks, a couple nice pressures. Again, same thing with the defense. Great first half. I think Tennessee only had 85 yards total offense in the whole first half. Excellent stuff. They held Derrick Henry in the first half to like 30 or 40 yards rushing, less than 3 yards a carry. I was really happy with that effort, but second half, it kind of broke down a little bit in coverage. The 2 sacks were TJ Watt and Vince Williams. Both guys played very well. Williams did have the gaff on the short pass to Brown, which went for a long touchdown. Watt was all over the place. Watt had 2 batted balls. Watt had a sack. Watt had 2 tackles on the backfield on Henry. He was getting a lot of positive plays. Bud Dupree's name wasn't called much today. No big plays, but did have several nice pressures. Vince Williams was all over the field today. Had the sack. Had several tackles in the backfield. A couple of nice plays out of Tuitt. I like what I saw out of him today. Henry Mondo was in there. He got beat a few times. He did have a nice block offensively, but we saw Chris Wormley out there a little bit playing in D tackle, so I don't know if it was just to spell Tyson Alualu. So we saw him a little bit. I like what I saw out of Robert Spillane. Spillane was going to be someone we targeted a lot today in this video. I talked last week about how losing Devin Bush was a big deal. Pittsburgh did not sign anybody to come in at inside linebacker. We did see Ulysses Gilbert play a few times today in this game, but Robert Spillane stayed out there as the starter, and he played a majority of the snaps, and he played pretty well. He got a big third down play when Henry was coming in at the 1-yard line for a touchdown, met him right in the A-gap and just smacked him. Did hurt his shoulder on that play, so I don't know if he came back or not. I think he did. So he got hurt. He was a freight train shooting in the goal line and smacking Henry, standing him up and knocking him down. So several nice plays in the running game for Spillane. Didn't see him do much coverage, but played pretty well in there. Secondary-wise, I want to give a lot of credit to Sutton. Cam Sutton came in for the injured Mike Hilton today. He did have the one play on the short touchdown to Henry where I think he played inside too much and got beat to Corey Davis. But otherwise, Sutton was all over the place. He had 2 or 3 balls in his hands where he jumped some routes and played some nice stuff off his hands. Almost had a couple of picks. Played really tight in the middle of the field. I like what Cam Sutton did in this game a lot. I have no fear. If we have to play for a few weeks, you don't want to play without Mike Hilton, who's a great blitzer. But Cam Sutton in coverage was very good today. Also want to give some shout-outs to Highsmith. He played in relief for Watt a couple times and played special teams as well. 2 special teams tackles and also had a few nice plays as well on defense out there. I like what Highsmith is doing. He's a nice relief outside linebacker. Ray McLeod as well. McLeod had a few nice returns today. He just looks so sharp. His feet look sharp. He breaks tackles. He makes the first guy miss every time. He had 1 kick return in this game. That was a long return that seemed like it was going to be going for a touchdown. It would have been like a 70-yarder, but at the last minute, one of the guys caught him from behind. He made a move on the punter, and instead of going around to the outside, he cut into the inside, and the one guy caught him. But he was 1 guy away from making a miss. Had a real long return. He's due for at least 1 return this season. He's been due for a couple of weeks now. I love what McLeod is doing. He's also involved in the offense on the end arounds and a few short passes. I love the addition of McLeod on this team. Again, third downs are the big positive for today, especially in the few opening scoring drives in that fourth quarter. Pittsburgh held the ball for another 8 minutes in the fourth quarter trying to hold Tennessee off, which helped a lot. So that's one of the big pluses for the game today. At the end of the game, Tennessee came down. Hayden was playing too far off of Corey Davis and A.J. Brown. They got a few outs and comebacks and got catches out of bounds. So Tennessee gets down to about the 35-yard line. It winds up being, I think, a 47-yard game-tying attempt by Stephen Gostkowski, who had already made a 51-yard field goal in this game. He's the legendary veteran. He's one of the best kickers of all time. He's been a little shaky as of late, but he's a legend. Caved out for the 47-yard attempt to tie the game, and he pulled the ball to the right. So he missed the kick. Pittsburgh goes on to hold on and win in spite of Tennessee's second half 17-3 rally. It's a game of 2 halves, but Pittsburgh holds on for the 27-24 victory. So Pittsburgh goes now to 6-0. Tennessee falls to 5-1. Statement victory for the Steelers. You would have liked to have seen a more complete victory and a better second half performance on both sides of the ball from a team who started off so hot and got off to a big lead. Tennessee almost comes back and falls just short. But even still, even though Pittsburgh played badly in the second half, they held on to beat a very good undefeated team. So Pittsburgh is now 6-0 with a statement victory in the AFC. What do you think of the game today? First half ups, second half downs. Tell me in the comments below what you think and who you want to praise in this game. And we are looking forward to next week as Pittsburgh is 6-0 and one of the elites in the AFC. How do you feel about the Steelers right now? What do you think of this game? Tell me in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.